Welcome to Lesson 5 of Unit 9, Helping Seeds Travel. In this lesson, students compare characteristics of plant leaves within different habitats around the school. Students figure out that each plant has its own structure. Scientists can classify plants by leaf or flower structure. There are a wide variety of plant types in one habitat and across habitats. In the Engage, direct students to discuss their schoolyard observations from the previous lesson with a partner, using the question prompts shown here. Hopefully in their discussion, someone will suggest taking a sample of leaves as evidence that there are different kinds of trees. But if not, suggest this as an option. In the Explore, continue the discussion by asking how the class can set up a scientific investigation to explore plant diversity among the plants the class found. Discuss how to take samples without harming plants or humans. Then take students outside to collect leaf samples from the two locations the class visited in Lesson 4. In the event that there are no accessible trees, you could collect some leaves ahead of time for students to observe. In the Explain, students will compare leaves and discuss similarities and differences using the leaf samples collected using the prompts shown here. If none are available, use the copies of leaves shown here on teacher pages 14 to 15. Then have students sort the leaves into categories. Make a list of describing words such as pointed, round, jagged, smooth, and then create a table of plant groups using these words. Tell students that scientists put living things into groups so that they can easily identify them, or put newly discovered things into groups that already exist. Encourage them to use describing words as they compare and contrast the leaves they're observing. Finally, ask if the same kinds of plants were found in each location. Students should find that there are similarities and differences in the kinds of plants around their school, and that there are many different kinds of plants in a single habitat. Next, show students common examples of Missouri wildflowers that they might see around their school or neighborhood. Ask them to recall what they learned about flowers in previous lessons. Then explain that certain types of flowers are pollinated by certain types of animals that live around the school. Note that this idea will be explored more in the next few lessons. In the Elaborate, ask students to observe the leaves shown here and turn and talk about the ways they are all the same. Be sure they know that all leaves have a similar function, getting light for the plant. Ask this question and direct their attention back to the list of describing words created. Then use these words to play a guess which leaf game, where one student describes a leaf and another one tries to guess which one they are describing. For similar leaves, encourage students to think how else they could identify plants. Missouri Department of Conservation has field guides for trees and flowers that could be a wonderful resource for students to explore to identify common Missouri plants. In the Evaluate, direct students to student page 20. Leaf observation. Have them choose a leaf to attach or to draw in their journal. Describe where the leaf was found and characteristics of the leaf. Show them the strawberry plant from Lesson 1 and ask them to classify the leaves of this plant into one of the categories described earlier in the lesson. By the end of this lesson, students will describe, compare, and contrast different types of plants and plant leaves in a habitat.